Robert Griffin III is back in the NFL. He agreed to a one-year deal for a reported $1 million yesterday with the Ravens. RG3 has not played since the 2016 season. Pro Football Talk is also reporting today that Ravens head coach John Harbaugh and GM Ozzie Newsome will be questioned under oath in Colin Kaepernick's collusion grievance against the NFL. Shannon, what's your reaction?
Well, I'm happy to see RG3 get another opportunity. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and if something were to happen to Joe Flacco, he can come in and give them the kind of production that they hope he would give them in signing him. And I know everybody's up in arms because RG3 got an opportunity in Colin Kaepernick. They seemingly discussed the possibility of having Colin Kaepernick join the team last year, and that didn't work out. And they see Geno Smith sign with the Chargers, and they see Brandon Weeden, and they see Matt Castle, and they see all these guys signing, and they says, okay, what about Cap? It's virtually impossible for Cap to get a job when he's suing the NFL. The NFL is 32 teams. Yeah. I mean, people at home, I want you to understand this. He's suing the league. And I can see if he's suing the league to say, okay, I want my job back. Give me a job and I'm done. I don't believe that's where he's going with this, Skip. And so he's making it virtually impossible. I get release the video and show you still throwing the football and know what and you know, to show people can he still throw or what's he doing. I get it. But as long as he's suing the NFL, I feel very comfortable in saying Colin Kaepernick is not playing another down. And I'm not so sure that he's better served now, Skip. He's going down as a martyr. He's and saying that, you know what, Colin Kaepernick believes so passionately, so strongly in what he was protesting that they whiteballed him out of the league. Yeah. I think he would be a bigger figure to leave well enough alone and says, okay, I'm done. Whatever's going to happen with this lawsuit is going to happen. Yeah. But just go ahead and let this thing about the quarterback, just let it go, because as long as you have this lawsuit, I don't see any way around it. It's like, hold on. It's like Jerry. When Jerry was suing the league, what did those other owners do? Say, Jerry, we're the league. They rose up and said, no, that's not going to happen, Jerry. So what do you think these other teams are going to do?
By the way, Jerry, you owe us for the court.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. I just don't see any way around it. And for me, Skip, I'm tired of talking about it because I felt that I've been the voice. I've done more speaking on Cap's behalf than Cap has done. And Cap
that's a fact.
And Cap is looking at it, well, no other quarterback. You can't worry about what someone else is having to do. You're not in their situation. And like I said before, I used the analogy when I got let go from CBS and other people were getting hired, I'm sure they weren't flying themselves around, Skip, at their own expense, meeting with people saying, whatever you have, I can do a lot more than you think. Just give me an opportunity. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't worry about what someone else was doing or what someone else had gotten. I had to show that I was willing to. And I'm not so sure Cap is, look, I'm not begging. Look, it's not a beg. Just do what you feel you need to do in order to get back on the field. But that ship is passed now. Once that collusion case, he put that in motion, I just didn't see any way around these other owners because they make up the NFL was going to offer him a job knowing that, because if they bring him in, Skip, and anything they say he can use against them. So why am I going to tell you anything?
Colin Kaepernick has a great case against the NFL that he will not be able to prove and win. Mm-hmm. I will bet you, unless they can find records or what. I don't know if they'll be able to pull that off, and I don't know if Colin has the wherewithal, the deep enough pockets and enough support to fight this to the bitter end. But God bless him for trying. Mm-hmm. Now, back to Robert Griffin III. Once upon a time, I was the biggest RG3 supporter going into the Andrew Luck draft and through that first year in Washington, as you know, won Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL, and he led the Washington Redskins to the division title and what looked like was going to be a playoff win over the Seattle Seahawks in Washington. It was 14-0, RG3, and then the worst started to happen.
Right.
He tweaked his knee, and then he wrecked his knee, and he just never the same after that. And it got pathetic to watch. And to me, from a distance, this was a transparent and pathetic attempt on the part of the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm not going to blame Ozzie or John Harbaugh for this. It goes to the top, to Steve Bisciotti. But signing Robert Griffin III, shell of himself, was this, it's just transparent, pathetic attempt to say, look, we just signed a quarterback with Colin Kaepernick's skill set. You know, that's kind of like, look, RG3's kind of a Kaepernick, right?
Exactly.
Come on, stop it. So the last time I saw Robert Griffin III was in a video he posted. Can we see this video, please? This is what's left of RG3. This is how pathetic he got. He's at the Y or somewhere. He's playing against 9 out-of-shape white guys. Is that what I'm seeing? 9 out-of-shape white guys. And he has the audacity to post, look, I'm draining jumpers against 9 out-of-shape white guys. That means I can still play in the National Football League. Is that what you see?
Yes.
What?
Man.
I would be embarrassed to post that if I were Robert Griffin, right?
And Skip, I get the fans that are in Colin Kaepernick's corner. And they're saying, like, okay, team, you're saying that if something were to happen to your starter, Geno Smith, haven't you seen enough of Geno Smith? What tells you winning? What has Brandon Whedon ever done that says winning? Matt Castle, in his, 12-year career in the NFL, has won twice.
You mean a season of winning?
Yeah, he won his first year in Kansas City. Yeah. So I'm just trying to
At least Matt Castle went back to 2 guys from the New England system.
And that's what just goes to show what helps you, Skip.
Yeah.
If you're an average player, to bounce around as much as you can because you'll make a lot of contacts. And when these guys become head coaches or offensive coordinators, he knows the system. They can bring you in. That's what Josh, when you play with 10 teams, you met a lot of people. Yep. You play with 7, 8 teams, you've met a lot of people along the way. But Skip, I don't begrudge Robert. I don't begrudge anybody that gets an opportunity. Sure. I hope he can stay healthy and take advantage of this opportunity. But I think you, and a lot of other people need to come to the realization that Colin Kaepernick is a 99% chance he's never going to play in the NFL again.
Well, I'd have to make it 99.9.
And I think he came to the conclusion early on when he took this stance, and he saw the blowback that he was getting because no owners came out in his support, that this was probably going to be his fate. Yep. Although he says, well, hold on, I went to a Super Bowl and I had some good seasons. I was hurt when I first got back, and then I showed flashes. I'm fully healthy.
Yep.
I think he's resigned to the fact. Now, Joy, I don't know how you feel. I'd like to hear what you have to say. But I think Colin Kaepernick is resigned to the fact he's never going to throw a football again in the NFL.
Well, we can only speculate to what Colin actually feels because we don't hear from him, like you said. So, I mean, the collusion case makes things difficult because, as you mentioned earlier, anything that they say, he can then use against them in a lawsuit. When you bring a lawsuit against a company like the NFL, you're in for it. I think we all also agree that there was some back channel discussion about keeping him out of the league and punishing him, and mostly to deter other people from doing it, which it has obviously worked because people are no longer doing it. It's just disappointing for fans because at least for me, it feels very cowardly that no one will just come out and say the reason that he's not in the NFL is because of how we feel about it. I don't know what that would have to do with the lawsuit, but you can't say that you care about winning and then at the same time hire these guys that have proven that they are not winners. So.
I want to find the one person that can honestly say Geno Smith is and was a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick.
Well, they can't say that because
Brandon Whedon.
That would discredit them as a football mind.
Like Josh Johnson. I mean, all these guys that keeps popping up. But at some point in time, Skip, I mean, he's out of the league. He was out of the league last year. How many years? He's not one of those guys, because we've seen it before. Guys be out of the league for 3 or 4 years, and they'll get a call. Colin Kaepernick is not one of those guys.
Well, we've never seen anything like this as far as the NFL goes.
No.
So,
but you realize Robert Griffin just missed 2 of the last 3 years, and in his short stint in Cleveland just looked sorry.
He looked bad.
Right?
He looked bad.
Okay, so that's the guy who got the job that Colin could have had.
Right.
It came to this.
And we know this is not coaches. This is not a general manager. When you got something that's the league view as toxic, this going up to the flagpole, Skip. This is the owner's decision.
Yep.
And they've made their decision.
that they're going with green over winning. Up next, All-Pro cornerback Josh Norman is here. We'll talk about his Redskins, the Cowboys, and more coming up.
What's up? What's up, bro? You good?
Hanging? How are you? Good. Subs, you look like you could play football.